Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Alphas, Season 1, Episode 7, Catch and Release. Thank you so much, Jessie, for sponsoring this show. This makes it seem as though they're going to catch an alpha and then release them. Are they maybe going to catch a member of Red Flag and tag them somehow or follow them back to their leader or something? I don't know. I'm sure it'll be something along those lines, but whatever it is, I will find out. Yes, without further ado, let's go. Oh god. Summer Glau's in this? I mean, I doubt she's in it super much, but... Oh wow. She's gonna blow up her place? Is she Red Flag a member of? So I like that she asked them to run. That suggests to me that maybe she was hoping to just destroy any evidence or whatever. Oh, she's back.
But I'm delighted to have been proven wrong.
Is that meant to make us as the viewer like her? Jury's still out, but I don't dislike her.
You told me you wanted kids, Bill.
Oh.
You know that's a very big decision, right?
So what, you've changed your mind?
He didn't know he was an alpha when they got married and now he doesn't want to pass it on necessarily. Tell her the truth. She's married to you. She wants kids. Tell her the truth. And it's made even worse by the fact that you were ignoring her this morning. Bill is a frustrating man, you know?
It's nothing serious. He's gonna have to stay home, though.
She's faking it, right? He's not sick. She's just worried about the influence all this work is having on him.
Then I have my morning therapy session.
Gary, not today, please.
Was something else happening today? Or is she worried about him in general? He's observing. It doesn't take a psychiatrist to observe the details here. The details? The dynamic is the word I was going for.
We have an alpha missing. Skylar Adams.
She knows her.
If someone is smarter than me.
Doesn't take much.
She was always inventing things fatally.
The question is, who the hell were they?
Also, it wasn't police raiding her.
She's what you call your classic catch and release alpha, huh?
The usual tests and interviews.
Bill, I think
That is scary though. Who is going around after alphas like this?
So just 10 minutes a night?
You feel like you slept 8 hours. Satisfaction guaranteed. I'm in kind of a hurry.
There's a device that can help me sleep. Can I have it, please? And especially sleep and get the time? Oh no. Who are these people? Is this like a secret government organization after her? Or is this some like other group? I mean, I feel like your needle is running. Oof. She is crafty. Don't shoot at it. There are people around. Oh lord. Teamwork! I love it. Well, that was a sight for the locals at the farmers market.
We're after you. Who are they?
Skylar, you have to have some idea.
They can help you.
They make an offer, I turn them down. They tend to get upset. Does it sound familiar?
Ooh.
Yes, it does. Yes, I made you an offer. I wanted you to work with me.
Well, on your side.
No one is going to make you do anything against your will.
Apart from the men in tactical suits. This is an interesting one. I feel like she's potentially working with Red Flag or something like that.
Your son.
Ooh, he can talk to him about kids, of course.
Why are you asking? I don't know, just curious. That's all.
These are your co-workers, your friends, people that understand you. Talk to them or Dr. Rosen.
And Dr. Rosen never said that I had a day off. You lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you lied to me.
And Dr. Rosen's going to ask him about the flu.
Rosen lied to me for a long time.
I work for Dr. Rosen.
Bill, it's not safe for you, Gary.
It's his
That
choice.
stuff that I told you, that's top secret. And
Not this time, you don't, kiddo.
yeah, get out.
Gary!
I said get out!
It is his choice. You can't just tell him something. If you truly think you're doing it for the right reasons, you need to talk to him about it. Yeah, he has a different way of understanding the world to you, but his way matters. His way counts.
No intention of releasing her. Clay's on his way to collect her right now.
Clay?
Oh.
When did you decide to bring Clay in on this?
I do not like her. Change my mind.
Rosen is a government flunky. You all are.
The truth is, Rosen has zero power. He can't actually protect these alphas. If the government were to say they are all a threat, I mean, her ability is extraordinarily threatening. If they were to feel like the slightest whiff of that being a threat or want to use her in their own way, they would come and they would round them all up, drag them out of their lives and take them to Binghamton. Rosen is powerless to stop it, but he acts like, and I think he wants to believe it's true, that he could protect them all from it and he can shield them from it and he gets the final say. And although he does have a final say, if he were to say, oh, red flag, get rid of that one, red flag either way for the world, Dr. Rosen needs to step up.
We don't take her, someone else will. Someone else is already trying to.
She's a person with rights.
It's not her choice. It's not ours either.
Well, whose choice is it then?
Yeah.
There's a chain of command that we all have to follow.
She's an individual citizen. No one can be forced to do anything unless...
Throws away the map,
Yeah.
forges her own path.
This is work.
This is her
She really
life.
thinks some takeout Morocco
Skylar's
is gonna do
entire life. Come on, team, we need to get her out of here because at this rate, you're probably the people that were after her in the first place. I mean, these are the bad guys. How do they track her? Do they have an alpha, someone that can track alphas, or...
There's men coming up here with guns.
Ooh.
I don't know. She's getting out of here.
I love her. I got her. I did see when they sent her into that room alone, there was endless stuff there for her to mess with. Oh, Gary. He can't drive. I guess he can manage to get a cab or something.
I thought she was a friendly. What happened to that?
She was.
We were trying to
His goons.
take away...
Took off. What do you expect?
A little appreciation. We did save her ass.
Yeah, you did. And then the government was going to take away her free will.
Do experiments on her and turn her into some psychopath like Marcus Ayers?
Mm-hmm.
Armed federal agents.
In self-defense.
Exactly. No, this was. They were coming to forcibly take her and restrain her and control her and take away her free will. They have no right to do that. She has not harmed anybody until this moment here.
She's right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what they tell us to. We're flunkies.
Mm-hmm. It's true. What happens when the government decide they need someone? I mean, I am extraordinarily surprised that the government haven't demanded Nina, because someone with her abilities. Imagine you get you manage to arrest somebody that has information on a gang, on some sort of conspiracy or some sort of plot. You get Nina in there, they spill everything. I am so surprised that the government hasn't already demanded her. What would Rosen do when that comes? Because it will come.
I think she could be communicating with an alpha.
Mm-hmm. It's more likely.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
And given that the government, I don't agree with Red Flag's methods, and I never will.
Couch talk things out.
We have to find her first.
It's transmitting a signal, but
Maybe she should get to choose her own life.
Gary. Patrol unit just found it right outside of Nina's apartment.
She should have put it somewhere further away and walked the last bit. That was foolish. But then I suppose she's not a criminal mastermind.
Where am I taking you?
Off the map.
As long as it's not
Make a quick stop.
to like some sort of red flag place or something.
Kill Bob.
Please say that's not like, that's a metaphor for something.
It's the only reason they keep finding me.
Oh, something she built. Okay.
What about him?
Jesus Christ. You can push him.
I'm gonna take a saying what Skylar kidnapped her now.
Cameron, you and I both know Nina never does anything she doesn't want to do. Let's go.
Yep. Nina's trying to help a friend. Someone they promised they'd keep safe.
Count to 1,000,000. Slowly.
That poor man. Before they leave, they better reduce that a little bit.
The one and only.
And he can track
What
down
was
anyone
that?
Using their unique bioelectric signature.
Is anyone here? They're not, are they? Does he know what that means? Is he gonna get the taxi to take him somewhere else?
All right, where are we going?
Okay, you have way.
The contact is where she could track down anyone on Earth. And if coordinated with the Predator drone.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Scarlet.
Planning something.
Apparently so.
Misjudge another patient, Doc. Gotta work on that.
But I'm sorry, like, at this point, Skylar is fighting back against the NSA, wanting her to build something to then use to bomb people and kill people. She's fighting against both two government agencies, both wanting to take her and use her. Does that mean I think it's okay for Red Flag to also kill people? Of course not.
Enough with the games. I want answers.
She's done a lot for you.
It's not something that I can talk about.
Everything.
Did it not work?
Pushing me? Modified contact lenses I came prepared.
I knew I could find you.
Gary!
Nina, what are you doing here? Pay the cab driver. I don't have $812.
Oh God.
No, it's okay.
This was a mistake. Thanks for helping.
Oh Lord.
We helped you to control those impulses. I know it wasn't easy. You felt that you were sacrificing your true identity. But
She still does a lot of whatever she wants. She lives in an apartment. She doesn't pay for it. She borrows cars all the time.
Skylar is not the way to reclaim your old self.
Because it was the right thing to do and it felt good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should try it sometime.
Agreed.
So we lost her again.
Well, you know she has some help from your girl.
Bill recycling the bottle, I hope, and then getting him 3 purple drinks. That is a step up in my books.
Armed and dangerous.
I wouldn't underestimate Skylar either.
I should talk to her.
Maybe you shouldn't. I think you might want to sit this one out, okay?
Why? Because you want to shoot her?
Okay.
I mean, okay, yeah, I get why they have to assume that they are hostile and potentially dangerous.
Clay's on his way.
Gary is capable of a lot more than his mum thinks he is, and I get why she wants to just shelter him and protect him, because she's scared for him and wants what's best for him.
Who the hell are you?
I'm a secret agent.
Oh, Gary, didn't they hear him say that? I mean, I know Hicks can't really do anything right now, but the others surely can. Is it a child? Because that would be... Oh, wow. That would be fitting with what...
Looking for my mommy.
Interesting. So kids do have inherit alpha abilities even if they're different to the ones their parents had. What else has that little girl been in? I swear I recognise her.
I knew eventually people would come after her.
Like they did with you.
If the NSA found out about Zoe, do you think they'd let me keep her? They'd turn her into a lab rat reverse.
It's so disgusting that she even would have to fear that.
My Uncle Wesley to take care of.
Because her life has not been her own all this time.
So, second generation alpha.
And she's astonishing. And, you know, she may have struggles. She may have things that don't make her normal. And I think that this episode, that is really what this episode's theme is, isn't it? It's the same with Gary's mother, worrying about him all the time. And I think sometimes when somebody presents as different to convention of what, you know, society says is normal, because there's not really any such thing as normal. Gary is normal for Gary, you know, anyway. It is so natural to kind of see that he's going to struggle in the world, because the world was built for neurotypical people. The world was built for people that see things the way she sees things and not the way Gary sees things. But this is the world Gary lives in, and she needs to trust him, to let him fly, and he will flourish. And he has people around him here protecting him. He has her there to fall back on. Bill having a child that could be an alpha, I do believe his wife should know. He should tell her, because it kind of, I mean, not in like in a bad way, but just so she can be prepared for if the kid comes out flying or whatever. You know, it's her child too. She deserves to have the full picture of what could happen.
This isn't our choice to make, Nina.
It should be Skylar's.
If we let them take Skylar and Zoe, then who's next? Bill, Rachel, Cameron, me.
Life doesn't work like that.
But people also have the right to choose. If they hadn't been born with alpha abilities, the government would not be able to force anybody to do anything. And if they do that, there's a breach of rights. Bill, Dr. Rosen. I spent so long the first episode being annoyed with Bill, now I'm like, sorry, Bill. Is he going to say they've gone? They made it to Canada before we could stop them?
She just disappeared in the thin air?
She was able to put together a device that distracted everyone.
You think I'm gonna let this slide? You've really misjudged me too.
I love him as an actor, but his character is very frustrating. Remember when he was Richard in the Ford 400?
No, they're just trying to look out for you.
Mom, you listen, okay?
Listen.
I look out for me, and the team looks out for me. But I shouldn't have, because it's classified, and you don't tell your mom classified stuff. And you have always said to me that you want me to grow up and to be more normal.
No,
and to have...
no, I never said that. I never would say that. I said I wanted you to be happy
to
and
be
safe.
happy. Well, Mom, I'm a secret agent now. Okay. Good night, Mom.
He knows you love him. You've got to give him the credit, and you just want what's best for him.
Yeah, I love you too, Mom.
Exactly. He knows that you're just acting out of fear.
I guess that just leaves me in the middle.
Pick a side.
You don't make it any easier.
Well, he was trying to protect the human rights of two people who have every right to get a life, to choose to do whatever they want. I get why she doesn't trust the government. I'm surprised that some of the rest of them do.
A few modifications, I could find every alpha on the planet.
Is he going to throw it in the water, in the bay? Good. Good call.
Double macchiato, half cap extra.
This is a Dalek coffee maker.
Thank you very much. I wonder if
I'm not promising anything.
If you got married with the expectation of kids and you now don't want them, you really have. I hope they get to be happy. They deserve to be happy. Okay, so I love this episode, and to be honest, anytime Summer Glau unexpectedly pops into my life, it's a good day. I just want this continuing to raise those questions of the government and their involvement with alphas, because often, you know, with a lot of these shows, the powered individuals that we're following are on the run from the government all the time. You know, they're hiding their abilities from the government. The worst thing ever would be if the government knew who they were. And with this show, they've done something totally different with the government is running the organisation that we are following. And like I've said 1,000 times, Red Flag have a lot of arguments and a lot of points they make that are valid. But their methods totally invalidate that. And I feel like a lot of the Red Flag people have the attitude of we're better than other people, and it's just not the case. I love that she wasn't working with Red Flag. I love that she wasn't working with anybody else. I mean, I wouldn't have blamed her in a way, because when she's kind of trapped into this thing where the NSA are forcing her to do this kind of work and she can't really say no. And then there's like the DoD wants to come and just take her away just because of who she is and her abilities. I mean, I just think things like that are so disgusting. And them saying like, oh, she'd be very nicely compensated once she made whatever we wanted her to. And it's just like, that's not a life. How would you feel if you were told, oh yeah, you can't ever quit this job? Never. Tough. You want to do something else? No, can't do it. And then the way they were acting, I think they would have taken that child away. And it would have started off small little tests here and there, and we just want what's best for her, but they would have used her for everything they could. I'm so glad they got away. I'm so glad Summer Glau's character wasn't someone that was secretly working with Red Flag, because I don't like Red Flag. And that really she was just someone that had gotten over her head with the NSA, had got lost, I guess, in the joy of her ability and the joy of making these amazing devices, and then when she realised what they were being used for, was horrified and knew that they could use her daughter, and so was trying to escape. I don't know how they figured out she was planning to escape, but I guess they did. And I'm just so thankful that we helped her. And I think Dr. Rosen, I've been screaming at him all season to wake up to the fact that the reality of the world they're living in is not the world he thinks it is, or the world he wants to think it is. It doesn't magically become a safe place to be an alpha because Dr. Rosen says it is. I can't get over the fact that the government let Nina not work for them, if you know what I mean. Like, her ability, they will be snapping that up. And at the very least, it would be, she'd be constantly being called away to do whatever they wanted. Given how they were treating Skylar, I guess having Nina do that to, like, criminals or whatever, would be seen as breaching human rights, and while they don't care about breaching the human rights of alphas, they do care about other humans. There is a huge ethical question here, and I think the setup Dr. Rosen preaches, I love, I support. But the reality of it is that if the government came in tomorrow and said these are all alphas are all coming with me to Binghamton, Dr. Rosen would just say, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think, you know, he couldn't do anything. And that is the problem here. And I think this episode was another brilliant one of raising that. And then its other main theme of being a parent and caring about what's best for your child, most especially when your child is different to you and different to what society expects from them. I think we are really watching Gary grow up, and I think in a way, partly like his mum, I don't ever believe she has wanted a malicious thing for that boy, for that man. I don't actually know how old he is. Like, is he 18 or is he like 25? But she has just obviously seen him struggle to fit in and to be understood before he met Dr. Rosen, and when like at school, American high school suck, I can't imagine what it would have been like for Gary. And kind of seen him, I'm worried always that, I'm being worried that he would suffer, worried that life was going to be too hard for him, and I feel like that worry made her kind of wrap him in cotton wool and coddle him. And yes, he's always going to need a little bit more support than other people, but then there are other areas in which he won't need more support, you know, he flourishes, and it's just, I think it's an important lesson for her to learn and for him to be the one to assert this control, that no, I'm happy with what I'm doing, I know the risks and I'm okay with them. You know, he's not like he can't understand the choices he's making these choices himself. Plus, to be honest, I think if Gary had gone to work for his uncle, he might be taking a trip to Binghamton. The government wouldn't be too pleased with that. I like that they kind of had that juxtaposed with, you know, an alpha mother who knows what it's like to be different and knows how you can get used and just what's the best for her child. And then Bill, who I'm guessing when he met and fell in love, he's always wanted kids. When they were, you know, getting married, they would talk about how they wanted kids. And then he found out he was an alpha, and realising that is this whole new wave of thing. I guess it's like if you have a genetic predisposition to a certain condition or illness, you might question whether or not it's fair to put that on a child. But I think when it comes to being an alpha or a lot of other neurodivergent things, there's nothing wrong with being an alpha. You know, it's if we haven't met dozens of alphas who are in constant agony or pain or something, because that might make you question it. You know, being an alpha just means your kid is going to have an ability, and yes, they might have some shortcomings in other areas of their lives, things that they struggle with in other areas, but they're going to have a beautiful strength as well. And I think seeing that little girl, that little child alpha who was loved and accepted for who she was exactly, and knowing that there were added risks, knowing that if he does have an alpha child, he might have to do more to protect it. That would be an interesting plotline had this show got more than 2 seasons, would be if Bill and his wife do have a child, what happens if that child is gifted and down the line? What about Cameron's child? Dr. Rosen has a lot to answer for here with all these kids. It is a question for all of them to face, and I think the harshest thing for me is if when they got together and got married, the basic agreement was that they would be having children, and then now he's like, I don't know. That, especially because getting older, I mean, I'm only 27, almost 28. I know I have many years to potentially attempt childbearing, but it is something that as a woman you're very conscious of, that you don't have it forever. You know, men can be 70, and if they're lucky, but can conceive a child. Women don't have that luxury, and I think when you get married to someone, if having children is super important to you, like it's totally valid to not want children, and it's totally valid if you fall in love with someone and that's enough for you. You don't need to want children, but when you do want children, like when I get into a relationship, obviously it's not going to be the first thing I say on the first date, but you know, when things start getting pretty serious, it's going to be a question that should come up, because it's such an important part of life. So for Bill to have kind of turned around and just put off the question of kids, not saying to her, no, I don't want them anymore, not saying, oh, I don't want to conceive naturally, or I don't want this, or I don't want that. Bill is keeping a lot of secrets from his wife, and it's not just that he's an alpha. It's all the resulting feelings, and I think because they're married, he should tell her. Because they're married, she's supposed to be his life partner, the person he could tell everything to, who will help him through everything, and he has told her nothing. It's not like they've been dating a couple of weeks. It's not like they're even a year together. They are married. And I really hate that she's been kept so in the dark about this thing that can affect her life and her husband. She deserves to know. So on that note, this was another brilliant episode, raising a lot of ethical questions and putting a lot of these characters in a lot of dilemmas. I'm proud of Nina for doing what she believed was right, and I am pleased with Dr. Rosen doing it too. I think for him the biggest test is going to be when they come for the people closest to him. And I don't want that to happen. I'm hoping that was going to be a season 3 put on and I'll never have to go through that. But he does need to reckon with the reality of the world they live in. So thank you so much, Jessie, for sponsoring this show, and thank you for watching.